Welcome to my morning coffee. Always bold, hot, and full of flavor. Gia and Tonya are my morning coffee. What's in your cup?
Oh, you still moving and grooving, I see. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of My Morning Coffee, where the conversation is always hot, bold, and full of flavor. Today, we are going to get started with some hot topics, some bold relationship conversation, and then our guest, which is our flavor for the day. So, I don't know what's going on, what's in your cup, Miss Gia, and what's hot with you?
I have coffee in my cup. Good morning, everyone. I got coffee because I'm tired, busy. I had a long weekend. Well, not long, just a busy weekend. I haven't had a weekend like this in a while. I had something to do every day of the weekend. So it was kind of like I realized this weekend that I'm truly not in my 20s anymore. And that all that stuff about, 40 the new 20 and 50 the new 30 and all that stuff. And, I don't know. Because after this weekend, your girl's tired. But I had a fun weekend. Don't get me wrong. It was fun. I went to 2 concerts. Well, I went to music concert on Friday night. So that was fun. Got to hang out with another couple, friends of ours, Tonya and Kevin. So we attended the Maxwell concert. We met up for dinner, a little early dinner, kind of happy hour style before the concert. So it was always good hanging out with my people. So that was good. So the concert was jamming. Maxwell, Joe, and Anthony Hamilton put it on. It was really, really good. I hadn't been in the Forum in a while to attend anything. So it was my kind of first time being back in the Forum in a minute. So that was a little different. A lot of people, a lot of us was there having a good time. So I think everyone enjoyed the concert, long time coming. So it was postponed because it was supposed to be 2 weeks earlier. But, somebody in the band, I think a few people in the band got a little COVID. So they had to postpone it to Friday. So good thing I didn't have anything planned for Friday. So I was able to go. And then Saturday we had an all day of jazz. We went to the Dimely Jazz Festival, 3rd annual one at the Dominguez Hills College University. So that was good. That was like from 1 to midnight. So I was, from sun up to sundown, as you say. So yeah, so it was a full weekend of music, which is good because I love music, and Jeff loves music. So that was a good time, and we got to hang out again with some more couples of ours that we know. So got to hang out with our girl. First, our girl Sarita and Kevin. She was there. We hung out with them, and then Tari and her guy Dwayne, and then also we hung out with Gerald, aka Flash, and his fiance, and I can't remember her name. It escapes me, but beautiful young lady. She's
Lawanda McKenzie.
Huh?
Lawanda McKenzie.
Oh, Lawanda. Okay, is she your cousin?
Last name only. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we all. I know we all cousins, but I'm like, I was gonna say if she's fam girl, shoot. Let me rewind in and stuff, and stuff. But okay, she got cousin. She your cousin, but not your cousin. Okay, right. Yeah. So that was fun. I got to see. It's funny how this whole pandemic. I got to see my bestie. My bestie was there. She, not unbeknownst to me. So she's texting me, and I'm like, and what she texts, I was like, "Are you here?" And she was like, "Yeah." So I said, "Jeff," I said, "Charlotte's here." And then he laughed. He goes, Cheryl came out the house, so we kind of laugh, because through the whole pandemic, it's funny how I hadn't really seen her, and stuff. So it was really good to see her. She was hanging out with some other friends of ours, some of our coworkers, that we used to work with, and she's since retired and stuff. But yeah, and some of the people that were there retired and stuff. So that was kind of good. And then just seeing a few from old faces from work. Actually, I saw I called him my little son. It was a guy, Wayne Brown at the end. I saw him. He was there with his girl. They have a food truck, unbeknownst to me, a seafood truck. So I was looking for water for Jeff because he needed to take his medicine. So so I was looking for some water, and I happened to find. I went over to the truck and I said, "Hey, do you have any water?" to this guy, and he calls my name. He goes, "Jeff," and I'm looking. I'm like, because I hadn't seen him in a while either and stuff. And then I realized who it was. I gave him the biggest hug. It was so good to see him. I hadn't seen him in a long time either. So that was
like you guys had like the ultimate post-COVID reunion.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. And then Sunday I vended at Nicole Vicks. She had her Mother's Day pop-up. And since the pandemic too, because we, when the pandemic shut everything down, she stopped doing those kind of things. So this was her first one since we've been able to get out and socialize and stuff. So that was the event. It was really nice. 15 vendors were there, so it was good to be amongst 15 women, small business owners, trying to do their thing in their craft. So that was good. So it was a long weekend. I'm tired. My back is hurting. My feet are hurting. Everything's hurting. But I'm here. I'm here this morning. So it's always good to be here with you, Tonya, because you keep me on my toes and everything. So yeah. But what's in your cup? Because I see that you had a little busy weekend, and I see one of my favorite guys had a birthday this weekend. I'm assuming he had a little party, and I'm not going to be mad that I wasn't invited, and stuff, but I know he did something fun.
Well, coffee in my cup, per usual, the one you gave me, brown skin girls, yes, because we are. But he didn't have a party.
Okay.
Listen, competitive sports takes a lot from a kid. I mean, it gives a lot, but there's also sacrifices, right? To be able to be good at your sport, to be able to be good at anything, you can't be in the streets like everybody else. You cannot live the same life as those that don't have those types of commitments. So to be able to, carry out what he sees as his future, he does make sacrifices. And this weekend he had games all weekend in Orange County, Huntington Beach. Friday he had off, and he asked me, Mom, what do you think I should do today? He was thinking about, hanging out with his friends. And I was like, well, if you're tired and you're sore, you should probably rest because, you have a busy weekend. And I went back in his room and I was like, what did you decide to do? He was like, oh, rest like you told me to. And he did. So I'm pretty proud of him for the sacrifices that he has made at the age of 14. It takes a lot to decide that what is important in your future, you're willing to make sacrifices for now.
Mm-hmm.
We got adults in our life that can't even do that. So, my heart goes out to him, but I'm also very proud that he knows the power of sacrifice and understanding what that actually looks like. And that's kind of what we saw this weekend. So we had a little cake and ice cream. He got his favorite dinner and stuff last night, but it was real low key. And he was still really tired this morning because he did have 2 games on Saturday and a game on Sunday.
What's his favorite dinner?
Oh, burgers and fries, girl. But
okay.
It was a little gourmet.
That's what I said. You made burgers and fries.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I didn't get invited over. Okay.
I thought you were still in the streets, and I knew
my event was over. My event was over at 5:00, but it's okay,
And I knew you were going to be tired from vending, and I could have sworn you just said that. So
I was, but I still got to eat. A girl still got to eat, but it's okay. That's all right because
with a chef. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Jeff and I, we went to eat afterwards. We went to the Yardbird. So yeah, okay.
Listen.
So, yeah.
Let's talk about what's hot. Hot topics. What's on your mind? What do you see out there in the news that is kind of driving you nuts? Anything at this point?
Okay, so for one, I'm gonna have a confession for y'all. I'm confessing. I don't be watching. I don't be into the news as much as Tonya would like me to be. That's what I'm gonna say. What as much as Tonya would like me to be, because I just don't. Um, so I don't really. I'm not really up on everything, and then a little bit I do know is I only happen to know it because it comes through my it comes through my social media, my Facebook feed. I probably haven't watched the news on TV. It's probably been a minute. So I'm not up on all the topics that's going on. I just hear bits and pieces, and I get a lot of my information for me to get up on topics is from Tonya, because Tonya will either text me or call me or do something like this, ask me about something, some topic, and I'm like, girl, I don't know. So I'm one of those people that when I truly really retire, you talking about being a hermit, I could probably go live somewhere and shut off the whole world and be fine, because it's just too much. Sometimes it's just too much for me. And to be honest with you, some of this stuff I really don't care about. I really don't. You know, let's just put that out there. I really don't. And I think people spend too much time in other people's stuff and making other people newsworthy when it's just everyday living. You know, that's the thing, you know. So but I have been I've been catching a little bit of the Johnny Depp thing, him and his woman. I didn't really know what was going on, but I caught a little. I read a little bit. They in court about something about, I don't know, it was slander, and she said that he abused her, and he said she abused him, and so this kind of stuff. So they suing each other, which is kind of crazy. But it's crazy that everybody's in it and everybody got something to say. Just like I go back to the whole. I don't want to bring this back up because I'm on those people too. What happened? How they trying to keep this whole Chris Rock, Will Smith thing going and going. It's like it's done. It's over with. Move on. Let people move on and go about their business. But I get people got to be talking about somebody in a negative way all the time. So yeah. So that's all I got. Cause
Gia, are you?
yeah.
So you ain't got nothing to say about this woman pooping on his pillow? Are you kidding me?
Wait a minute, I didn't hear that part.
See?
Hold up. Hold the how you said shut the front door, hold up. Well, wait a minute. The woman, no, she didn't.
Dude,
See,
listen,
you know what?
We're gonna have to revisit this because I need
will,
Gia to catch up. We cannot discuss hot topics, and she has not done her homework. So we're gonna get back to that.
Oh my God! See, you know, got me on one now. Oh my God, that's just disgusting. Okay, see y'all. You know what, y'all?
Listen, you put on the blinders. You don't know how. This is why you tune in, so you understand that there are really crazy people in the world. Yesterday, me and Royce were talking about. He said, you know, I'm gonna walk home from the movies. You don't have to pick me up. And I was like, oh no, absolutely not. Like, I'm picking you up because, Mom, what do you think is gonna happen? Do you know where we live? Listen. There's crazy people everywhere. Okay, there's crazy people everywhere. He was like, well, they probably don't run as fast as me. That ain't the point. Crazy people, they think different. So the reason I listen to the news is to see how crazy people are because we don't think like them. Okay. I need to know the type of people that are surrounding me. We don't do these things, but they do. So I need to know what's going on. So I'm going to need you to catch up. So we'll do hot topics next week while Gia gets her life together. We'll talk about relationships next week because most of the hot topics have something to do with a relationship.
All I'm gonna say is, what's her name? What's the girl name?
I can't remember. I don't even know these people's names.
You know what, Jeff? If you listen and watch it, don't even ever think that that's okay, or even I know you wouldn't, but see that some things is ground. Some things, y'all.
Listen, you're a police officer. I'm sure there's things that you have seen that other people don't believe.
Oh yeah, they are.
I'm
just saying certain things. I tell people certain things. You can do a lot of things to people, and even to me. But some things is like, you know, you're gonna get hands put on you. Like, for example, if you spit on me, it's over. It's over. I don't care. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're a kid. I don't. That's what I tell people. No, certain things is just nasty, and it's not gonna happen. And that's one. And pooping on my pillow. Oh no. No. See, so yeah.
Hey, the nasty people do nasty things.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to y'all on that. But before we bring on our next guest, before I bring on the flavor of the day, Mr. Ken Rusk. We don't talk about this often as a country, but yesterday was May Day. So it was May 1st. And we just never really talk about labor in our country and the laborers. We do spend too much time talking about celebrity likes, people that we don't know and probably will never meet. But there was a time when we did celebrate blue collar workers. We know that they are the cornerstone of our country. And I don't understand what has happened to that. People that work really hard to build this country, that was something that was celebrated and talked about often and even, promoted as career options.
Exactly.
So I want to go ahead and introduce Ken, someone who champions blue collar workers and champions how they actually can be as successful or even more so than others. But let's bring him on. Mr. Ken Rusk, how are you?
Good morning. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Good morning.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get into what's in your cup. How are you today?
I'm actually doing really great. I wrote this book and released it, and I've been very blessed with it. I didn't realize that it would get as far as it has. And so what we're doing now is we're releasing a course. One of the things that I believe more in every day is giving back to the community. I've been doing it for 20 years or more. And so now what I'm doing is I built this course to help kids figure out what their path might be. You talked about blue collar workers a minute ago. And so what we're doing is for every book and course that is purchased by someone, we're donating one to either a mentee of their choice or to someone in the community that could use the help and the direction. So this has never been about, my world has been really good to me and I'm very blessed and grateful. This whole process has never been about making money for me writing this book, but giving back this information to others. And we just finished the course and we released it. So that's kind of what we're cooking right now.
Ken, can you show the audience the book and then talk about your career path and how you became an author?
Well, the book is called Blue Collar Cash. There it is there. And it was kind of an interesting story because, I started this company. We're basically ditch diggers. I mean, that's what we do. And I started this company 36 years ago with 6 people, and now we have nearly 200. And it was kind of a scenario where, I could see that I wanted to help kids figure out, how to get their life started, because when you're working in construction, it tends to be a younger crowd. And in some cases, it was their first, second, or third job. So I would often teach them how to get their first credit card, how to get their first car, how to straighten out their driver's license or get their first apartment or set up a checking account, those kinds of things. So I kind of became an involuntary life coach. And it's been a very rewarding thing. So how the book came about was I was writing a note to my daughter because when she was 12, she got really sick, and it was scary sick. Like for 5 years, it was a really scary thing for her mother and I. And I remember writing a letter that I was writing to her about what I thought was important in life and what people should be really truly chasing, which is comfort, peace, and freedom, and all those concepts involved in that. So as I'm writing this letter to her, the stories just kept coming and the examples just kept coming. And pretty soon, instead of it being a letter, it was 80,000 words. And then the rest is history there.
So from comfort, peace and comfort, we got the Blue Collar Cash book on blue collar workers.
Yeah, it was again, you talked about it earlier. I don't think you can go from your kitchen to your office without crossing a couple of hundred blue collar jobs that are still in existence today, from the clothes you wear to the food you eat, to the water that comes into your shower, to the gas in your car, to who built your car, to the road you're driving on, to the street lights, and on and on and on and on. I mean, the blue collar worker used to be celebrated, and now they're a little bit stigmatized. And so I'm trying to fight back against that because supply and demand is working way in the favor of blue collar workers today when it comes to opportunity and money. And I'm just trying to let our kids know that, these jobs are still amazingly lucrative and even more so in demand than they've ever been. So at least take a look at it before you run down some of these other paths.
It's funny that you say that, Ken, because you're right. Blue collar workers' jobs are kind of frowned upon now, but it's ironic in my profession. I didn't, how can I say it? You have a lot of people in blue collar jobs that have degrees and multiple degrees, and you ask them why did they leave this their other profession, or why they get in this profession, and the first thing they say is because they needed a job where they can make some money, a paycheck. And a lot of time people go to school for 4 years, 8 years, 10 years, they get all these degrees, but then they go out into the workforce and there's no jobs out there for them. So now they find themselves now going to seek blue collar type jobs.
Yeah, I've had a couple of dozen people that have contacted me over the past year and said, thank you so much for writing this book. When I was 19, I was a plumber's assistant. And then I went to college because my parents told me I had to. I got this degree that I really didn't know a whole lot about, or even I wasn't really passionate about. So then I went into medical sales, and I'm in the 15th floor of this building sitting in a cubicle, and I was unhappy. And I'm so glad that at my mid 40s, I decided, you know what, enough of this. I liked being in control of my own day. So I'm going back to being a plumber, and they have, and they've never been more happy. So yeah, there's a lot of people that are doing that transition right now. And that's good because there's a balance in our country of workers, white collar workers to blue collar workers. And that's gotten so out of whack that this balance, again, it works in the favor of those who are willing to work with their hands.
What is a blue collar worker? Let the audience know, in your opinion, professional opinion, what exactly is a blue collar worker?
Well, first off, the word blue collar came from, back in the day, you would see if you were, a highly educated person and you worked in an office, if you were like an accountant or a lawyer or something like that, you would walk around town with these really tall white starched collars that you could snap onto your suit. And that kind of told people that, well, I'm a professional. Okay. I have a white collar. I'm a professional. Conversely, if you had someone that was doing a job, maybe they were working on the streets or they were doing some infrastructure work or some type of blue collar work, they would tend to wear jean-like material. They would wear like dungarees, they used to call them, or they would wear blue shirts and they had blue collars. So you could kind of see the difference between the two. Well, back then it was stigmatized a bit. I get that. But anybody who is willing to work with your hands, is willing to do something where they're in the mode of creating or repairing or fixing or building or changing or remodeling or cooking or policing or anything, they consider those blue collar jobs. And I got to tell you, if there's 167 million people working in the United States at any one time, 70 million of them are working with their hands. So nearly half the people in this country are doing something with these two things. And it's a good thing they are, because this country really needs that.
Exactly.
So tell us
I'm a proud blue collar worker.
Absolutely. And thank you for your service, by the way.
You're welcome. Both my professions, my day job and my night job. See?
Tell us a little bit more about the course.
So, a lot of times when people read books, they read them and then they stick them up on the shelf. And within a couple of months, they've forgotten they've ever read them. Okay. I wanted to make sure that instead of this book just being a trophy, that it ends up actually changing your life. So I took the book and I chopped it up into small pieces. It's 45 minutes per session. It takes about 8 sessions to complete it. And it really does change the way you think about your life, because, there's a lot of people that live for Friday, right? They live for that paycheck on Friday, and they don't think beyond that because they're not taught how to do that. So high schools, colleges, they don't teach you how to think 1, 3, 5, 10 years from now. They don't teach you to design and build and draw what you want your life to look like going forward. So that to me was the biggest thing, because if I'm looking for a career, I need to decide, well, what do I want my life to look like in every detail? What's my perfect comfort, peace, and freedom, or my perfect nirvana, if you would? If I can decide what that looks like, then I can go backwards and say, wow, there's one of many paths that will get me there. And that's part of where we're kind of stuck right now, because every high school is trying to become a college prep school, and every high school counselor is trying to, tell kids they have to go to college to be successful, and that is absolutely untrue. But it's just kind of a trend that we kind of seem to move towards over the last 20 or 30 years, that it's college or else, and that's a good thing for blue collar workers, because it creates great opportunities for them.
I love that. Where can people find out more information about this for their kids and hell, possibly for themselves?
Well, that's a great question, because this book, it spans from, I don't care whether you're 15 or 50. If you can change, your future, if you can change your life, this is one way that you can do it. So if you go to kenrusk.com, you can see about the book, and you can see where we're up to there. It's my website. You can, there's all the purchase buttons, all the Amazon and iBooks and Barnes and Nobles and those types of things, and your independent bookstores as well. You can also look me up at it's Ken Rusk Official on Facebook and on Twitter and Instagram and those kinds of things. And again, what you asked me, what's in my cup, and for me, it's all about giving back, and I really love doing this. I teach this class to kids here in locally in Toledo, Ohio, and they seem to love it. So if you get involved in the book or the course for yourself, know that you'll be helping somebody else, because we'll be donating one in your name to them.
So you say you teach it to high schools in your area. Do you have a program like a trainer program where people can train in your book and take it to their city and teach it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we're working with Junior Achievement right now, and they have a lot of after school courses all around the country. So this program is going through, that's just one direction. You can also maybe take it through like a Boys and Girls Club or something like that. So yeah, it's I would be happy to send to anyone who wants to actually teach this course to somebody else. I'd be happy to send them one and then show them how to go through it, because again, when you see people's, it's funny when you see a kid and he or she's looking at you for the first 45 minutes, or maybe the first second class 90 minutes, and they're like, why are you here and why are you telling me this? And once you reach them to get them to understand that they really are in control of their futures, they really are. That's a tough pill for some to swallow, but it's true. Once they start to understand that they're in control of their future, man, they start lighting up and they engage, and it's a really rewarding thing to do that.
And the reason why I asked, because our sorority, and along with other sororities and fraternities, they have youth groups that they work with, mentoring groups. And I'm thinking this would be something good that maybe if they could get involved, become a trainer, and they can take this back to their youth groups and give it to the youth and stuff. Because you're right, college is not for everyone, and we need to stop frowning on. We need to let kids know that any job is a good job. A job is really what you make it. But and you can be very successful in a blue collar job. And a blue collar job is not a bad job, and it doesn't mean you're less than someone who has a professional job, because there are people in professional jobs that would say that, they're not making the kind of money they thought they were going to make in this professional job. And you got blue collar people that are in jobs that are making a lot of more money, if that's the whole goal, if that's your goal about making money.
Well, that's exactly right. And it's never been that way. So why all of a sudden it's that way recently, I don't quite understand, other than this whole shift towards, college or else. And I got to tell you, there are people in my town that are finished carpenters that are making more than lawyers. And I've got people that are plumbers making more than, engineers. It's crazy what this supply and demand thing, how it's shifted so far one way that these other jobs are not even getting looked at. So people are having to pay more to get them to do those things. And it's never been easier to start your own company. I mean, with a cell phone and a pickup truck, you can do payroll, you can do accounting, you can do purchasing, you can do all those things. And so I tell them, if your passion isn't about going to school, if you don't know exactly why you're going to college, then you might want to think about something else before you get involved in all that debt and come out the other side with a job that isn't paying you what you thought you might get.
Yeah, Monique Lewis says they should teach industrial arts in high school again. What do you think about that?
I tell you, for me, shop class was an amazing place because when you were in high school and you saw that shop class, whether it was woodworking or mechanics or welding or industrial arts, whatever it might have been, you at least got to experience that and sample what that might be like. So we got rid of all those shop classes. We filled those rooms with computers, and I understand that we needed to learn computers. I get that, but why did it have to be one or the other? So now what you did is you eliminated millions of kids from accidentally discovering, wow, I think carpentry is really cool. I think fixing cars is really cool. I could start my own business doing that. I think welding or cooking or anything. I think that's really cool. You've eliminated them from even discovering that by accident. So that really took a lot of this of the new recruits that would come in and replace some of the retiring tradesmen and women. It took them off the map, and so that's why we've got this blue collar crisis like we have now. But again, wherever there's a crisis, there's an opportunity. So that's why I'm standing here talking about these are great jobs. They pay well, and they can make you a great life.
You know, it seems that there would actually be a combination of ideas that people support for kids to live their best life, right? It has skewed towards all college and nothing else. But now we find ourselves in a creator's commerce, right? So we can talk about becoming a creator and a creative, and those conversations are being had, but it's still not so much the blue collar work. And I'm trying to figure out or get either one of you to kind of enunciate why it's so looked down upon, I guess you could say, even when it's brought out about how profitable you could be. And then I also want you to talk about a few other entrepreneurial ways that once you're in these industries that you can still continue to grow your finances. But why is it looked so down upon? What is that?
You know, when you grow up through this digital age, you know, there's a perfect storm that we went through. The first thing was we took shop class out of high school. So that de-romanticized, if that's such a word, that whole industry. You also have kids that are growing up instead of running around the backyard and, you know, building a tree fort with lumber and nails and hammers that you found, you know, maybe it was laying around your house or whatever. Instead of doing those kinds of things organically, they're building cities on Minecraft on their cell phones. That's not the same experience as getting outside and working with your hands. So the personal experience of going out and doing something, that's gone too. So that's step 2 of this 3-step storm that we're in. The final piece is simply that, again, high school teachers and counselors and colleges themselves, they're so good at saying it's us or nothing. You either have to go to college or you won't be anything. So they're indoctrinating a whole generation of people to say, well, I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. And again, nothing could be further from the truth. Now, to speak to your entrepreneurial question, in the book, I have about 9 characteristics that all entrepreneurs have. And I get asked this all the time. Oh, you're just lucky because, you know, you have this entrepreneurial skill. You were born with it. Absolutely not. All I did was know what I wanted for my life. And I can tell you this, I teach kids all the time, take out a poster board, get a good old fashioned box of Crayola crayons, and let's start drawing. Let's draw what you want your house to look like, your car to look like, your family to look like, your vacations to look like? What do you want your pet to look like? What, a dog, a cat, and what color, and what would you name it? So, I mean, we get really, really deep in that, because once somebody understands that they want their life to look like this, all those entrepreneurial characteristics come out of them. And I can tell you that any one of us can be an entrepreneur. Any one of us can be persistent and resilient and have initiative and faith and courage once you know what you want first. You can't say, well, if I get those things, then I'm going to live this awesome life. It actually works in reverse. You need to know what it is you're after, and then go after it one piece at a time.
Gia, what are your thoughts?
I wanted to also just add something to what Ken was saying about what college counselors are telling our kids and stuff like that. But it's not only are the college counselors, Ken, I think parents are doing that too. And that doesn't help either, because you got parents telling your kids, go to college, go to college, go to college. And that's good. Yeah, you should encourage them to further their education. But just because you go to college doesn't mean you're going to land that 6-figure job and stuff and things like that. You should go, I went to college because that's the only thing I knew was school. But what I got from college was really what I say culture. I got to interact with different cultures. I grew up in college and stuff, but and I got to see things that I probably wouldn't have seen, and got involved with things I probably wouldn't have got involved with if I hadn't had the college experience. But I didn't really have to get that college experience right out of high school. I could have went and got a job first, then gone to college. And I probably would have been a better student now that I think back on it, if I would have maybe went to work first and then went to college, because I was just going to school, because somebody told me to go to school, that kind of thing. And I didn't have all the answers then. And most kids don't, but they're going because a college counselor or their parents are telling them to go to school. Don't get me wrong. You do have some kids that grow up and they know, I got a niece that she knew she wanted to be a doctor at 9 years old and she's in medical school. You do have those people, but a lot of times you don't have that. Kids are just doing what they're told to do. And sometimes they wind up doing jobs that they don't really, not fulfilling, and they wish they would have did something else. But not having those classes, those kind of things in school, you don't, like you say, you don't get to know what you want to do. You don't get to experience and explore and learn new things. I thank God for the woodshop class. I took woodshop because, now I can put some stuff together, but because I took a woodshop class. But if I would have had that class in high school, I don't know what I would have done, and stuff. But now, people say, well, you got YouTube. You can YouTube everything. Well, yeah, you're right. You can YouTube it, but it's nothing like that hands-on. And most people are better learners when they have a hands-on experience, as opposed to, letting somebody tell them how to do it or watching it. Sometimes getting in there and doing it yourself is also good. But I think there is a shift, though. I think a shift is coming from the whole, white collar versus blue collar, because it ain't that many white collar jobs for all this money that these kids are spending on education, because education is not free. And a lot of people, these kids are going into debt just to get that degree, to go get a job that might take them, double the time or triple the time to pay off the debt for that they got for trying to get that degree.
So Monique says college is seen by minorities as having made it or fulfilling generational dreams. However, the cost of college education also prevents these same folks from affording homes due to student loan debt. What do you think about that?
Well, that's a great point. I always talk about the $400,000 swing. Let's assume you have a college that's $40,000-$50,000 all in, okay, including everything, travel and your housing and your food and everything, books, the whole 9 yards. You do that after 4 years, that's a couple $100,000, right? Hopefully you didn't borrow all that. Now, if you were to jump right into the workforce, especially in today's red hot environment, which it's been like that and it's going to be like that for a long time to come, you could actually make $40,000 or $50,000 a year right now. So in 4 years, you've got $200,000 of earnings. That's a $400,000 swing from net negative to net positive in your asset base. That's a good head start on a house, a retirement, a savings account, whatever you want to do. So I just need people to know that I am not anti-college. I mean, my buddy's a surgeon. He operated on my shoulder so I can go back on the golf course. if he didn't know how to use that knife by going to college, I wouldn't want him to come anywhere near me, right? So same with teachers. Teachers are amazing human beings. You know, you got people that manage money, you got people that engineer buildings, all those kinds of things. You got to know what those things are. But to your point, you're coming out of school knowing exactly why you went in. That job's waiting for you, where right now we're overproducing these rather bland, vague business degrees. And people are coming out of college thinking, I'm going to make 70 grand. And they're finding out that there's so many of them that they're only making 50. They're like, wow, I mean, why did I do this? I have this debt and I don't have a specific reason for going. So I agree with what she wrote there. I think it is something to aspire for, but you got to know supply and demand is going to make, you know, that's a rule that you can't mess with. It always wins. And if supply says we need carpenters, go be a carpenter, because you're going to make a fortune doing it. You're going to love your life, and you're going to make, you're going to get all the things that you want out of this world for yourself.
And Jeffrey says student loan debt used to be a mortgage payment and all the associated expenses that built a strong economy because it created jobs. Student loan debt does benefit growth. So it's out there to help the economy grow, not so much to help you grow personally. And that's, you know, a lot to be considered. So again, we want to thank you for being here, for taking your time and sharing this with us the day after May Day, of course. But any last words for the community, for our viewers, in regards to blue collar workers, your book, and let them know how they can continue to follow, support, or even get involved with what you are offering?
Well, the first thing I would say is, you know, what matters most to you is what you think your life should be like. Okay. You and only you know what you're passionate about. You and only you know what you could be really good at. You and only you know what you want your life to look like eventually. Okay. So give yourself the power of knowing that you control this. Okay. You control the next week, the next month, the next year. And as long as you can see it very clearly, the things that you want for your life. And it's not all materialistic. There's also give back moments. There's the comfort, peace, and freedom moments that we talk about. If you can draw those out and make them very clear, just like Oprah says, what your brain sees, it attracts itself to, you will automatically be on the path to gaining those things, because your mind and body will do things that support those actions. So that's, you know, give yourself the knowledge that your brain is a lot more powerful than you think it is. Okay. So that's number one. The other thing is, if you want to get involved, I mean, again, please go to kenrusk.com. You can message me there. You can message me on Facebook or whatever. I would love to be able to show you how to teach this to other kids, because they need to hear there's options. You know, college is one of 5 ways that you can be successful. One of 5. There's 4 other ways that you can have great careers, and just at least take a look at those before you make that ultimate decision.
Awesome.
Well,
we want to thank you. Show them the book one more time and let them know where they can get that also.
It's called Blue Collar Cash, and you can get that at Barnes and Nobles. You can get it at Amazon Books. You can get it at independent bookstores, which I like to support. So yeah, if you want to pick it up, I think you'll be glad you did.
All right, Ken. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, and know that once you are a part of the My Morning Coffee family, you're always a part of our family. So if there's anything else we can do to support you, definitely let us know. Guys, all of his information will be in the captions. Make sure you get in contact, you support, connect, and get educated a little bit more about the blue collar life if you're not already in that industry. And if you are, there's opportunities to make even more money. So tap in, dive in. He has a lot to share. Thank you, Ken.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a great day.
So what'd you think?
Actually, it was awesome. I would like to, I wish we had more time with him, but I want to go to the website, because I think this is something that I wouldn't mind getting involved with, teaching that to in our youth groups and stuff, because again, you know, we're always pushing one thing, all the time. And I'm a firm believer that, you know, everybody's path is different. Everybody's not on the same path, and I think kids need to know that there is value in what I call everyday, regular job, and there's nothing wrong with that. And some of these, kids need to need to know that they not explore it. They might not be for them, but let them know that it's something out there. There are options. If you're not that A student that can maintain a GPA to stay in college, and stuff, you might have to, go do a trade or something for a while and then revisit the
Not
college.
only that, but listen, this is the thing. You don't have to force yourself into being in a field that you're probably not going to like. I have
Mhm.
friends, actually, both of us, me and Ray, that have studied and spent a lot of money in college and getting multiple degrees, and they hate what they do, or they even quit before they finished
Yeah.
their degree, and they've spent umpteen amount of years studying for this thing. Because the truth of the matter is, they never wanted to do that thing. They've been brainwashed into feeling
Mhm.
like they had to do that thing. And I grew up, if anyone follows and pays attention, my hero was my grandfather, and he was a construction worker, and we didn't want for nothing. Okay, this man had everything. He was the epitome of hard work, dedication, and admiration. People absolutely loved him, and he used his hands every day. As a matter of fact, he would tell me, "Don't marry a man with hands softer than mine." So
Yeah.
he was a little like raise
Right.
hands. When he shook Ray's hands, he was like, "Them baby soft. I don't know if you want to
Right.
marry."
Right. 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 Right.
But all that being said,
Yeah.
he did what he wanted to do. And
Right.
how do I know that? Because even after he retired, he went back to doing it.
Right.
You have to really be honest with yourself about what it is you want to do. You want to do what feels good to you. And
And
just
you have.
because society pushes a certain profession does not
Yeah.
necessarily mean that profession is for you.
Right.
So being honest with yourself, I think, is the first step. I mean, people get afraid to tell their parents what they think they want to do if they're afraid their parents won't support.
Yeah.
But you get, you
And
got a lot of people dealing with mental health because
and
they're doing something
but
they
that's
don't
true.
want
That
to do.
is the case. Sometimes your parents are not going to support it, but you have to know what you want to do and who you want to be is okay. And that's what we need to be teaching these young people, is that it's okay. If this is what you want to do, it's okay. It's nothing wrong with it. And if all your friends are doing something else and you want to do this, you guys are still the same. You're no different, and stuff. And that's the problem. I think, we as a society, we shun certain things and we look down upon it and stuff. You got a lot of people out there, like you said, spend a lot of money and they got multiple degrees. They got all kind of alphabets behind their names. Okay. And they're not happy in their jobs that they thought that this is what they wanted to do and stuff. And they're not making the kind of money that they probably thought they were going to make with having all those alphabets behind their names. So yeah, um,
It's
we
important.
yeah, that's what it's important. Is what you want to do and how you feel about doing it. Like for example, I did I forgot to tell you, we did uh um a
Business,
seminar. I don't know if it was a seminar, it was a Zoom. Phi Beta Sigma chapter in Florida had a small business entrepreneurial type workshop, and Jeff and I were a guest on there. And the question came up about what I my business, what I'm doing, and I told him is I enjoy, it's a passion, so it doesn't feel like work. And that's the thing, a lot of us, we go to school, like you said, and we go get these jobs, and it's just like, oh, this is not really what I want to do, and it's like, this is not my passion, so it feels like work. We dread going to work every day. But when you're doing something that you really enjoy, i.e., the people who are surgeons, they enjoy it because that's what they went to school for. They enjoy getting up, going to work every day. The doctors and they're lawyers and nurses and stuff like that. But you still have people in that profession too that after they got in a profession, they're like, oh no, it's not really what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And stuff. So find something that you enjoy and pursue that. And it could be being a construction worker. It could be being a firefighter. It could be being a police officer. It could be being a hairstylist. It could be all these things, other things that you enjoy doing. And those things you can make a lot of money. It could be, like you said, being a plumber, being a carpenter, those type of things. So yeah.
All right. So let the people know what you have going on and how they can keep up with you.
Y'all, You'd be surprised. I have nothing going on this month. Nothing. I'm not popping up anywhere this month. So, but you can find me on the gram at the Mahogany Box and on Facebook at the Mahogany Box. I will be working on, my creations. I'm going to be putting some things out. So I will be posting them on both of those platforms and you can get them there. And I'm going to be uploading some things to my website at www.themahoganybox.com. So you can't see me out and about this month at a pop-up. You can always see me on social media or from the website to get my creations.
Awesome. Well, listen, I have a lot going on. So the National Association of Government Communicators, I'm presenting how you lead with your brand. And
Okay.
that will be in Louisville, Kentucky. And then we're heading off to New York to go celebrate Raymond's graduation. He's graduating from
Yay.
Sarah Lawrence College. Super proud of him. This kid has his own social media business already, and he's looking to do some really dope things after graduation. And then we're back here for so many things. So listen, guys, stay connected, stay, in touch. I'm at Sand and Shores on all social media platforms or Tonya McKenzie PR. You can always find me on Twitter. I'm always on Twitter. That's my new home base. Like it's an instant contact, right? We can banter back and forth, but for me in public relations, we get to talk to journalists a lot there instantly. So, that's where the hot topics kind of rest. That's where we
well see that's
it.
Right there.
Well,
See,
I've been telling you forever to get back on.
you guys, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all about Tonya. She thinks she's slick. Cause see, she been trying to get me back on Twitter, and you saw she threw up out there. That's why all the hot topics are on Twitter. So I need to go to Twitter to find out what's going on in the world. That's what she's trying to do, y'all. I'm on to her. Okay. I'm on to her.
So I want y'all to be on to me too. Check me out on Tonya McKenzie PR on Twitter, social media platforms, all of them. I'm pretty consistent. That's part of PR. Be consistent.
Okay, y'all get on Twitter, find out the hot topics, and then text them to me or message them to me. Okay,
No,
so I'll be up
you
on
force her because she ain't got nothing going on this month to get her ass on Twitter. Okay, all right.
Y'all work with me. Okay, work with me. Y'all,
we're done.
Okay,
We're done with this conversation. I will see. Bye.